Hello, I'm Margie Holmes, psychologist, author, and educator specializing in sex therapy. As I've said before, after appearing on TV, radio, and print, I am now taking my expertise online to reach you, a younger audience. For today's edition of Ask Margie, we're going to talk about virginity with questions that came from you. A question from Twitter from Ines Sotea. Does virginity require penetration? If my hymen is ripped by using a tampon, riding a horse, or a bike, does that mean I am no longer a virgin? So let's take the first question, no? Does virginity require penetration? Yes, but it requires penetration by a penis. Therefore, if you have been penetrated by a tampon, a bottle, although that sounds like it hurts, or riding a horse, then it means that you are still a virgin as long as no penis has entered your vagina, okay? And if you're a guy, of course, as long as your penis, same thing, hasn't entered the vagina. From Alisa Pov, I engage in oral sex and dry humping, but draw the line at penetration. Am I still a virgin? Yes, you are still a virgin. During my time, we used to call you a technical virgin, which is everything but. And all I would say is, I hope you are a technical virgin because it is important to you and not because you feel that society or your boyfriend is gonna judge you. Kasi, sino ba sila? You know? Okay, from Zanette Gabor, what about the elasticity of a girl's hymen after a first encounter? Now, this I asked a medical doctor specializing in OB-GYN. Now, a girl's hymen, usually, but not always, you no longer have your hymen after a time, and this has nothing to do with whether you're a virgin or not. But what happens is what you're really talking about is how tight a woman is. And what the gynecologists have said is that it depends on how long, in a way, it's been. You know, first of all, I'm not suggesting this, but you can always pretend that it hurts, right? I'm not suggesting this, right? And I think the question you should ask is, if I have to pretend with a guy, whether it's about my hymen, whether it's about if it hurts, whether how long I've been a virgin when I had my first sexual experience, if I have to pretend with a guy, do I really want this kind of guy as my boyfriend? You know, I would say no, but who am I to judge, okay? From Randy Jaime 1, if I engage in sexting and or cyber sex, does that mean I am no longer a virgin? No, it doesn't mean that at all because you have not been penetrated. But in fact, that can be a lot of fun, as can having sex, of course. From Vince Saint, kapag ang babae laging masungit, virgin pa rin po ba siya? Hindi, kasi ako minsan masungit. Pero alas, having a child and having some really fabulous men, I hope my husband doesn't get angry that I use the plural. You know, I'm not a virgin anymore, okay? A question from Sophie_Doe, can you get your virginity back? Hindi. But if you say, can I get my tightness back? You can if you go through some person, I don't know, what's this, plastic surgeon or OB-GYN who can make you tighter. But as we said, tightness has nothing to do with virginity. Having a hymen or not has nothing to do with virginity. Being shy or not has nothing to do with virginity. And as I say, you can always pretend, although I hope you don't, okay? And finally, being an honorable woman or being a woman with integrity has nothing to do with virginity. And I say this based on my clinical experience and a lot of research that I've done because, you know, in the Philippines, it's such a big deal. And that's why I wanted to be sure that I got the right information, that it wasn't only my opinion. Okay? Now, from Jane Marie, is there a right time to give up your virginity? No, I would think the right time is if you meet someone that you love, that you trust, and want to have sex with. But you know, that also shows my age because I think during this time, people say, why do I have to love and trust him? As long as, you know, we both want to get it off. Can I, you know, have sex then? And I would say, yeah, as long as you know you can take care of yourself. And by the way, I mean, thank you for asking the question. I'm so glad you did. But even if you say to give up my virginity, it sounds like this is a gift you're giving or that you're losing something by, in quotes, giving up your virginity. And I would be so happy if we reach the time in our culture that we didn't look at it that way. Hindi ba patas lang tayo eh, di ba? It's not that you're like, not a mendicant, but it's not like you're offering this, you know, as a gift. And by the way, I don't believe that the greatest gift you can give your husband or your boyfriend is your virginity. I mean, one point is, my God, if that's all you have to give him, isang beses lang yun eh. Di ba? Isn't humor, an open mind, etc. much more important than virginity? And from Sabrina Owana, we've heard about 40-year-old virgins. At what age is it a turn-off to still be a virgin? You know, that depends on the guy, you know, or the girl. You know, I don't want to be heterosexist. Although, of course, literally, if you are lesbians and therefore no penis is involved, a dildo can be involved or your finger, then you're still a virgin because the definition has to do with a penis. And I think the follow-up question to that is, and therefore, is that so important? I mean, I wouldn't like people to think that just because you're a homosexual and therefore haven't, in quotes, lost your virginity because you're two guys, I mean, why is that any less meaningful than how heterosexuals make love? Okay? Then, from Rusty Joseph Eugenio, why is it that some Filipinos tend to look down on someone when they discover he or she is no longer a virgin? Because they're bloody idiots, that's why. And now this is a question I always get. How can I convince my boyfriend or girlfriend that I am still a virgin? You know, being a virgin is a matter of fact. I either had my penis penetrated or not. Convincing someone is a matter of emotion. You know, so it's two different things. And you know, I would really say, if you have to convince your boyfriend about something that you really are, drop that boyfriend. And you know, what we would say during our time, although this will date me, chugi. You don't, you know, having a boyfriend or a girlfriend is, I would hope, something very important and something very validating. If you have to make an excuse about yourself just so your boyfriend will be convinced, he's not worth it. Okay? Then finally, from BJ Mo Twistariray, Dr. Margie, kung makipot ang pag-iisip ni Senator Soto, ibig bang sabihin virgin pa siya? Ikaw Mo, your question is as naughty as your name. Okay? Now, what can I say? If we are talking literally, of course, he's no longer a virgin with all his kids, etc., etc. Pero if we are talking figuratively, that a lot of people do, well, I guess I would agree. Thank you for joining me in today's private session. Next week, I'll answer questions on infidelity. So please send your questions on Facebook, tweet using the hashtag AskMargie, or send an email to askmargie@rappler.com. See you next week!